gimmicks. Yeah. No gimmicks, taking over, no limits. Motivation, the truth inside everything you are hearing. Reporting live, know you feel it. Wrestling is everything that we will know with special meaning. We on it live with no gimmicks. No gimmicks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again, alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in friendly Nevada. Welcome to yet another episode of No Gimmicks Podcast, broadcasting on the 3 and Out Radio Network. Dale, what's good, my man?
Well, what's up, Todd? Nice to talk to you again. Lots to talk about here with the Elimination Chamber. I think I may be reaching my breaking point with WWE. I'm not a fan of the way this thing ended.
Dale, I am right there with you, my man. So basically, we're just going to kind of tell you guys how we feel about WWE Elimination Chamber 2018. And I must say, I'm going to start this one off here with the Elimination Chamber match. We have Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus John Cena versus Elias. And basically, whoever won this match would go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 for the WWE Universal title. So this one for me is an obvious dislike. So you go through all this trouble, basically to make Braun Strowman look like a complete indestructible force here. He eliminates 5 other competitors basically just for him to take a couple Superman punches and a couple spears from Roman Reigns. And then, then he goes ahead and he wins the match, which is pretty much one of the most predictable, finishes that you could possibly have here. Dale, I'm quite sure you're on the same page with me on this one.
Absolutely. Every single one of these matches was predictable. I was like, I've had it. It's like, I am not entertained by Roman Reigns. Every segment from here on out is like, will not have my eyes with Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. It's like, I will turn off WrestleMania 34 when the main event starts. I don't care who wins.
One of the last text messages that I received from you before we begin this recording is you said that the boycott has begun. And I'm right there with you on this one as well, because, I have said this for a long time here. WWE, they finally kind of gave us a tease, I guess you could say, almost a false hope, by allowing Shinsuke Nakamura to go over in the Royal Rumble to give us the dream match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34. He actually forcefully eliminated Roman Reigns by tossing him over the top rope, making himself look very strong in the process. And then we get this BS tonight. So I guess the next question I have for you, Dale, is what is next for Braun Strowman in all this? Any ideas?
That's my point. Is like you come out of this is like Roman gets Brock Lesnar. Had Braun won is like you get Braun versus Brock, which makes itself is like we have the build from Royal Rumble. You can put Roman with Seth and they can go after the tag team championships and everything works itself out. It's like Braun Strowman right now is like he's the most must-watch guy on Monday Night Raw, and we have nothing for him for WrestleMania 34. This is an absolute disgrace. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore.
Dale, hey, you know what? It's funny because from time to time, although it might seem like Dale and I agree quite a bit on this show, when we're having our text conversations, there are several times where we almost kind of get in like these flame wars with one another, and we're just kind of going at it back and forth. But this is one case where I can say I agree with you 100%. We had a written-in storyline coming from the Royal Rumble where you had Braun and Brock literally beat the living hell out of each other for real in a match. They could have built upon that, but instead we get this crap. The same old tired stuff. Roman Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania once again. And once again, nobody's really going to care when he walks away with the title because we all know that Brock's going to be taking some time off, possibly even stepping away from the WWE altogether after WrestleMania 34. So let's move on here to the next match from Elimination Chamber 2018. So we had Woken Matt Hardy taking on Bray Wyatt. So for this one here, Dale, I'm just going to say this. Now, this is one case where Impact Wrestling really capitalized on something that the WWE has not been able to. They had a unique storyline. They had a unique cast of characters, and they actually made us care about the Hardy Boys once again. Then we get this crap. It's funny that he has the name Woken attached to his name because I was just the complete opposite. I was sound asleep on my couch during this match. This match literally put me asleep. I could care absolutely less about what's going on between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy and their silly little promos that they're doing on a week-to-week basis. Dale, what's your thoughts on this?
So I had seen some interesting things. Obviously, I big Bray Wyatt fan. Is like liked him since the day one. Is like he kind of feels like he's gone now. But you kind of look at it. He came out on a short side with John Cena. It's like, and ultimately, I think the feud that basically set him up to kind of go backwards. It's like he didn't get a victory over Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's like, but the big three is like his most recent feuds. It's like the one with Randy Orton bombed, and now this with Matt Hardy. It's like one person's comment was like, "Is Bray the end all be all of the problems with all of these feuds?"
Yeah, it's really kind of hard because, like I said, the guy has, he has a character that I think really could, draw people in and engage people. He's got decent, I would say, no, not decent. He has some pretty damn solid mic skills, and he's pretty decent in the ring itself. I dig the finisher, Sister Abigail, but yeah, there's just something that is just missing there that just can't quite get him to the next level. So I'm not sure what it's going to take to get Bray back on track here. But this match, though, snooze fest.
Well,
so now
when you get a Happy Rusev Day chant and obviously the return of the beach ball during this one is like, obviously I can't called out fans before for the beach ball, but I definitely, it seemed like it took over here. It is kind of a shame that like you have these type of things is like take over like from the performers in the ring. But as you said, WWE was trying to capitalize on the broken universe that Impact Wrestling had created, and Impact did a fantastic job, as we have said before. They stalled the war over the gimmick for so long that it became tired and stale. And now it's like, and I don't think WWE can rebuild it. We may get Jeff Hardy joining the broken universe as well. Maybe that helps. I don't know. It's like, but right now, it's they're just the things that made broken Matt Hardy work were was the stuff at the Hardy compound and all of the crazy antics there. It's like we're not seeing any of that. We're just seeing crazy ass laughs from Matt Hardy.
Yes, I'm missing. Where's my homeboy Senior Benjamin at? Where's little Keem Matzel? Where's Reby? Oh Lord, where's Reby at? Especially with that the cleavage revealing dresses she'd be wearing. Yes, where is all that? So WWE, please get with the program, man. Get this thing going in the right direction. So moving on here to the next match from Elimination Chamber 2018, we had Asuka taking on Nia Jax. Now, if Nia was to win this one, she would join Asuka and Alexa in their match at WrestleMania 34. I said, this was actually one of the better offerings that we got on this show tonight. Breakthrough performance for Nia Jax. Nia Jax worked her ass off in that one. I think my buddy Andre, who I was talking to, he had said, one thing that he saw tonight was that Nia was not afraid to go at it 100% with Asuka. She wasn't afraid to work a little bit of a stronger, stiffer style in the ring against her. Dale, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, that's Nia's going to have to do is like she has to kind of work woman in the division. Is like you kind of feel like she's got to work that power, that strong style, just be the more aggressive style. But that was just the thing is I'm not sure. We were kind of thinking that Nia was going to work herself into the main event, but I just felt like it couldn't be ending the streak of Asuka. There's no way Asuka's streak was ending at Elimination Chamber. They haven't been having it go this long for it to end at Elimination Chamber. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. So I didn't know how Nia was going to do that. So right now I don't know. That's the next question now too. If Nia isn't going to work herself into a women's championship match at WrestleMania, what's next for her? Because Braun, there's another option for Braun. A battle royal where he just basically dominates and runs through everybody again, because you could get some good eliminations there, but it's like that's not where he
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is too, it's just kind of like for this, I'm just wondering how long this streak with Asuka is going to go for. I mean, I'm just assuming that she will capture the title at WrestleMania, and then I guess for however long she's going to actually hold the title for, until she gets her first loss on the main roster. So this could be quite a while before that ever materializes. So it'll be interesting. Something definitely to stay tuned to with that feud. Moving on here, we've got the Bar taking on Titus Worldwide for the Raw Tag title. So I'm just gonna say this, okay? I just do not buy Apollo. I know they dropped the cruise from his name because of what that prick did out there in Florida to those innocent people out there at that school shooting. God rest every single one of them. But we had this match tonight, and I just did not think for one freaking second that that the Titus Worldwide tag team was going to have any chance of defeating the Bar for the tag titles. Dale, what's your thoughts on this?
Absolutely right. It was like April came in and it's like, and the match was on during the pay-per-view, and she's like, "What the hell was on the kickoff show?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like she called this match being as like a part of the pay-per-view, but she thought it was going to be on the kickoff show just because like it was so predictable that the Bar was going to come out on top. Because that's the thing, is like, find a match on this card where we didn't get the winner that was expected.
Yeah, and I just can't help but think of the fact, I just say this, them two dudes, man, Titus and Apollo, they just remind me of two giant melt duds. That's what I think of every single time I see them dudes in the ring.
It's like, I'll say it's like the one positive for them is like, hey, at least they're getting some type of push. They got pay-per-view time in a match for the tag team championships. It's an improvement. It's like, but I think there's something, I don't know. Obviously, they're trying to do something with the Titus Worldwide, but
you know what I would like to see with this tag team here? And I mean, it's going to require two things. First off, it would basically mean that they would have to bring one of the members of the Street Profits up to the main roster. I would love to see Apollo tagged up with my man Montez Ford from the Street Profits.
You called the right guy too.
I want to see. And then you just let Titus be the manager, kind of like, and then you can still have Dana Brooke there, kind of like as their valet, because we've seen this before where they have both a male and a female second to the ring. That's what I would like to see, man. But I don't like to see Titus actually in the ring as a worker.
Well, but it's like one other thing I was just gonna say is like bring them both up, bring Dawkins and Ford. Put Apollo, let Apollo be the singles guy, and then Titus just be the mouthpiece for all of them.
And that's not a bad idea either. I'm not 100% sold on Angelo Dawkins. Me and Andre Wright, we're always joking about that dude because it's kind of like we feel that Montez kind of has like the the big time personality. He's got the look. I almost kind of see him as like a more charismatic version of a younger version of Shelton Benjamin from Benjamin and Gable. But the other dude, Angelo Dawkins, he just doesn't quite have the look. He's not really in the greatest of ring shape. I don't really find him all that entertaining. But yeah, I would not be opposed to them actually bringing them up as a tag team and then let Apollo do his thing there on the side.
Well, it's like on the Street Profits is like, I do think this is Dawkins' last chance to make the main roster. It's like, I don't know how many times they're going to keep trying to move him into something. So if they don't push the Street Profits to the main roster, I don't think Dawkins stays around. Yeah,
and he's been down there for a while in NXT. So you got a legit point there, Dale. So now moving on to the first match from Elimination Chamber 2018, we had the first ever women's Elimination Chamber match. So we had Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Sonya Deville versus Sasha Banks versus Mandy Rose versus Mickie James. So once again, although predictable, we got a solid performance of Alexa Bliss, both in the ring and post-match. I loved her promo. She had everybody suckered in, man. She went for the whole emotional thing, started, letting the tears flow and everything, and then all of a sudden, pulled the trigger, and she came right back at the fans and basically said, you know what? None of y'all are as good as me. Dale, what do you think about this?
Oh, absolutely. It's like, and I made the comment on Twitter, is like Alexa Bliss's promo proved, because obviously, it's like we've talked about, is like she's not the upper echelon of pure wrestling talent that we have in the WWE women's division, but there's like that promo alone tonight proved the reason why she is the Raw Women's Champion. It's like she absolutely delivers on the microphone, and as my tweet says, like it doesn't take pure wrestling talent to get you all the way to the top.
Preach. That was a bootyful performance from Alexa Bliss tonight, I must say. So now, Dale, on a scale of 1 to 5,
we got one last thing. As I obviously, the biggest thing coming out of this was the Ronda Rousey thing.
Yes.
Just one last thing to mention there, some of the comments were here again that WWE's last woman on the event was Ronda Rousey. He's like again putting the. So does that mean that the main spotlight is once again on Ronda Rousey? Obviously, she ended Asuka's moment at the Royal Rumble. She gets the contract signing segment, but obviously we finally saw some physicality. She put Triple H through a table, but one of the weaknesses that we obviously also saw was the mic performance. I think everybody's got the right idea. I think it needs to be Paul Heyman. It's like I think he's going to have some free time once WrestleMania comes and goes. Is like to take on a new, become a new advocate for somebody, and I think he would just be an absolute perfect fit for Ronda. The question is, some people have brought up is like, does Ronda wrestle before WrestleMania? And I'm like, I think part of the build to WrestleMania is that you're going to keep Rousey out of the ring. Although one angle that you could take is Stephanie trying to punish her for the actions tonight is to put her in matches too. But you've got to put her in matches where she just squashes the opponent. It's like you've got to, if you're going to go that route, it's got to be quick. It's like, you've got to put her in, let her do a judo throw armbar match over. Just was like, let her do what she knows and then get in, get out and move along. It's like hide her true ring sense until WrestleMania.
You know, it's kind of funny because I remember we had discussed that if they weren't going to work this tag team match with The Rock, the most logical thing for them to do would be is to put her with Braun Strowman. But obviously that's not going to happen. It looks like it's going to be her and Angle taking on Triple H and Stephanie. Dale, this is something I must point out to you that I find kind of ironic. Not too long ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Killer Cross join us on the No Gimmicks podcast, who is from Las Vegas, where Elimination Chamber took place tonight. And what is his finisher? The Doomsday Saito Suplex. What did she give Triple H to that table? A Saito Suplex. Somebody's been paying attention to No Gimmicks podcast. just had to point that out there. So now, go for it, Dale.
Oh, no, that's all. I was just going to say is I definitely they had to up the ante with what because obviously she couldn't just come and go, sign the contract and leave. It's like because that was basically what she did at the Royal Rumble. It's like we had to up the segment. It had a couple awkward moments, but Kurt saved it a little bit. The toss to Kurt again was a little awkward, but again, this is Ronda's first foray into having to use the mic to push something over. It's like UFC, you didn't really have to do that. It's like Conor McGregor changed the game in that aspect. Is like, but again, is like he's a once in a generation talent. I think is like when it comes to being able to go into the octagon and sell himself with a microphone. Ronda just is a straight performer. Most of the women in UFC are just straight performers. That's what they do. It's like, so obviously game changer here is having to go to the microphone. The less that she has to use it, the better. It's like, obviously Asuka doesn't do it very much, but there's a language barrier. But I think right now is like, you have to off the microphone right now because it's like she's too giddy.
Right.
She's too happy to be in WWE right now. It's like to be on the microphone for the character that she needs to portray.
Right, because she's supposed to be a take no prisoners badass. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now your favorite part of No Gimmicks podcast here, Dale. On a scale of 1 to 5 on the No Gimmicks scale, would you give WWE Elimination Chamber 2018?
Oh man, it's so hard to try to grade this thing low because you had two good elimination chambers. I thought both were good. Asuka and Nia Jax was good. The tag team match, and then Bray and Matt, not so much. 5 matches to try to grade on this thing. Oh, it's got to be probably go 2.6. I don't want to go 2.5. It's like I've seen worse, so I don't want to go 2.5. It's like 2.5 is my lowest grade. This wasn't the worst thing I've seen, but because Roman Reigns won, it's a 2.6.
Well, guess what, Dale? I went 2.5. That was my grade exactly. Because frankly, you know, this show tonight did a combination of a few things. It did not really engage me. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, which absolutely put me to sleep. It did not please me with the result of the match, the men's Elimination Chamber match. I did see a decent women's Elimination Chamber match, but like I said, predictable. Also, we had, Asuka versus Nia, predictable. The Bar taking on, Titus Worldwide, predictable. So I just did not really get any sort of satisfaction out of the show. I almost kind of felt it was more like a chore having to sit through this show tonight rather than something that I enjoy. Whenever you feel that way when you're watching something that you really enjoy on a weekly basis, that is not a good feeling. So, hey, one thing is for sure here. We can sit here and talk about WWE Elimination Chamber 2018 all night long, but we're not going to. So thank you for joining us for this episode, our like or dislike edition of the No Gimmicks podcast. So thank you for tuning in. We are No Gimmicks, No Image, all wrestling, all the time. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos.
Boycott Roman.
No gimmicks. Yeah. No gimmicks, taking over, no limits. Motivation, the truth inside everything you are hearing. Reporting live, know you feel it. Wrestling is everything that we won't know with special meaning. We on it live with no gimmicks.